We're going to be doing some exercises on how to tell the difference between primary and secondary sources. So that list of practice is going to be in your Google Classroom. Okay, so how do we tell the difference between a primary and a secondary source if you're given a list of sources, for example? So let's say I have a biography of Theodore Roosevelt that was written in 2001. So biography of Theodore Roosevelt, written in 2001. Well, Theodore Roosevelt lived back in the beginning to the middle of the 20th century. So that was nearly 100 years ago. And a biography, if you remember, is something that someone else wrote about a person. So do you think this would be a primary source or a secondary source? A couple of things that you want to look at. One, it was written in 2001. 2001 was 19 years ago, not 100. And biography is something written by someone else. Now, sometimes biographies can be primary sources, but the biography would have to have been written at the time that he was alive. So this is going to be a secondary source. Let's take a look at another one. So, a magazine article about the War of 1812. So, a magazine article about the War of 1812. So, a couple things you want to look for. First of all, 1812 was quite some time ago. Magazines weren't something that they had a lot of in 1812. So do you think this could be a primary source or a secondary source? Yes, most likely secondary source.